Hello, my name is Ibrahim Mustafa, and I believe in you. I believe in the power of your dreams. I believe in whatever you do. And I just want you to know that whatever you are doing now, just keep doing it. Because I believe that no matter what, no matter how, you can do something different, better, great, and you can change the world. So today, this is the Changemakers Hangout. We are hanging out with one of the finest poets from Ghana. You know him and I know him. So today we just have our own brother, Poet Gombilla. I don't know whether I get it right. So welcome, bro. I trust you are doing
Well,
good.
thank you very much, bro.
Right,
Oh
right.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Great
good.
on,
I'm
bro.
good.
Great on. How is
I'm good.
studies?
How are you doing too?
I'm doing great.
Well, studies is fine. Right now school is on recess and I mean we're just indoors enjoying the summer.
Great, great,
Yeah.
great. So how is Canada? How is all that stuff and all the things that Charlie? It's hard, but I know it's possible. Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's great. It's great.
right, right.
Yeah.
So who is Gombilla?
Well, I mean, when people ask me who is Gombilla, I
Mhm.
think that's the most difficult question in the world because I'm
Right.
different things,
Sure.
right? I'm different things.
Right.
But I mean, with regards to what I'm recognized for, I'm Gombilla and I write poems to inspire. I write poems to educate. I write poems to, to entertain and also to get people to reflect on their lives and how they can be able to, to channel themselves towards greatness. And so I believe I always, use my poems to, to reflect positive, aspect of, society and to give people hope and to give them, a reason to continue to live their dreams and become better members of the society in which they find themselves. And so that's basically who I am in regards to what I do as a poet.
Right. Right. In your industry as a poet, you've carved a name for yourself, and I know that it's not easy because once you get there, the expectations keep coming, and people keep expecting more and stuff. So, how did the journey start? I quite read some excerpts of how it started at back at CIMAS and the practice and all those things. Maybe you just tell us how it started and how you got that inspiration and the form.
So what in 2012, I used to write. I mean, I
Right.
used to just reflect about life and then just write it and stuff like that. And so one day I was watching, Vodafone Ghana Music Awards in
Right.
2012, and then I saw Chief Moment perform at
Great.
VGM.
Right.
So when I saw him perform, I really loved what he was doing, and I felt that wow, this is poetry that somebody has been able to raise to a level that, I mean, at a music event, he's invited to perform. And so I was inspired and I felt that I could even do that. I felt that, I mean, I can do it, right? I told myself I can do it. So I started writing.
Right.
I wrote, uh, I wrote a poem for our headmaster, Tia, in Tia, that time I was in TIMAS, right? Yeah, that was when my passion, rose and I began to explore, my craft as a poet. But I mean, there was an incident that preceded that, that epiphany or that sudden discovery. That was back in junior high school. I used to, I was asked to represent my school in a poetry recital competition,
Sure.
and I was supposed to perform a poem on abstinence, be faithful, condom use,
Right.
right? And so, as at then, I hadn't, I could write, but I didn't believe I could, write up to that level. And so I had my cousin to guide me. So he guided me and he wrote a poem for me on that, and I had to memorize it. So I went for the competition. Everybody came, recited theirs. Everyone came, recited. It got to me. I started reciting and I forgot my lines.
Wow.
And I was there for more than 2 minutes. I couldn't say anything. I would just say abstinence, 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 abstinence. And everybody started to hoot. Ooh. They started clapping. Back, 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 away, back, back,
Wow.
back,
Wow.
away. And we had these two guys. We call them Richard and Murphy. Those guys were, I mean, trouble. You know, when we talk about trouble, they're trouble. So they were teasing me when I got to campus. They will look at my faces and wait. And when I'm not looking, they'll start laughing. And when I look at them, they'll pretend as if they are not laughing. So I was very sad. And I mean, I felt so sorry for myself. I was contemplating, nasty stuff to do to myself. But I mean, I just, I had friends who were encouraging me. So that was when my desire for public speaking started. So I started to read ahead of my class. When I go to class, I answer questions. I make sure that I talk every time, whether I know what I'm talking about or not. I start to talk. And there was this time, and luckily, to a month after that incident, my religious and moral education teacher approached me and said they see potentials in me, and they believe that if I contested for school prefectorial positions, I'll win. And so they encouraged me, and then I opted for it. And I was even asked to recommend certain people I feel they can be able to do the job. And so I recommended them people. And then we wrote manifestos. I was reading the manifesto. I was shaking like leaf. And I mean, that was the start for me. I became the SP I was voted for. I started speaking at assembly. I started speaking in class. And I mean, my friends started calling me minister and stuff like that. And so it started for me. I went to a mass, and I was continuing that, experience of speaking in class, engaging every opportunity I had. I engaged and stuff like that. And so that was where it started for me as a public, somebody who spoke in public. And like I said, I talked about the Chief Moment, experience and stuff like that. So in TIMAS, there was a day I approached. No, there was a day we were asked to perform. What was it? It was this talent show at entertainment. So I wrote my name to perform as a politician at the program. And so I went to the entertainment prefect room, wrote my name, and then opted to act like a politician. So the day came, I went on stage, I started, but I wouldn't distinguish the political party I was trying to imitate or something, but I was trying to do what they do at their rallies and stuff. So I was doing it, and then the entertainment prefect thought that I was there to ridicule a certain political party, and so I don't know, he disconnected the system. I was talking, nobody could hear. I was talking, nobody could hear. And then the students started again. Oh, back, away, back, away. Oh, I went to class, and that time I used to spend a lot of time in class. So I sat in class, I was reflecting, I was crying, I was sad. My friends were still laughing at me. And that day, I just took my pen, I wrote a poem, and I said, I'm going to recite this at assembly on Monday. So I wrote it, and I'm going to redeem my face.
Wow.
So I wrote it down. And then on Monday, I went to see the SP. I told him that, I have this, this message I want to share with the student at assembly. So I'll be grateful if you give me the opportunity to do so. And he said, oh, no problem. So he gave me the opportunity. I recited, and everybody was clapping at assembly. So from that day, they started calling me SP. So every Monday, I came to recite poems.
Wow.
I came to speak to the student. I mean, I started like that, practicing. And then they started calling me SP. And I met Mr. Nuhu Ishmael. I don't know if you've met him, but he's also, doing well, training young people. I met him. He's a teacher in TIMAS. He met me, and he started introducing me to books, motivational books. He started to, to give me opportunity to lead and stuff like that. And so I mean, the time came, the election came, I contested, and I won. I became school prefect. The students voted for me. And so I started, regularly coming to assembly to talk, to spread my message, and then to talk. So that was when I started, building that foundation, and people began to believe in me, right? And then Mr. Nuhu coached me, directed me, and stuff. And I organized, how to call it, a program with Change Ambassadors Foundation, owned by Mr. Nuhu, we invited Emmanuel Day to me, Chief Moomin and stuff to the school to come and, to come and speak to the students. So that was where it began for me. And I started to put together my works. And then before I left TMS, I published a book,
Wow.
a book. Yeah. And so, I mean, that has been the journey for me. Yeah.
Great. That's quite a journey, an interesting journey, of course. And so I like your passion and passion to do what you love. And quite recently, you released a poem. I think you went on a break.
Yeah.
And you got back, and you're saying that we should expect poems and other things and stuff. And it didn't take long that you had to go to school.
Yeah.
So how you turn disappointments into opportunity.
Yeah.
You turned like what seemed to be like people trying to mock you to the opportunity to become one of the greatest poets in Ghana. So apart from those like you've mentioned, I've quite like monitored how you practice. And so what goes into it? Like how tough is it to keep up to that skill? Especially when it is poetry, you go on stage, you know that if you are reciting and you don't take time, you're going to forget your lines. How has that been?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask every poet, they'll tell you the same thing. So what I do is that I try to look at the programs I'm likely to perform at.
Yes.
So I sit down and project what are some of the programs I've performed at, and what are some of the programs that I'm likely to perform at in the future. So I try to anticipate those, those performances. So when I anticipate them, I write poems for each of these, I write poems on these themes.
Right.
And then I make sure I memorize them.
Great.
Right? So that when you invite me for your program, you tell me that, oh, we need you for this program. I would go back and I realize that, I have something that is related to what you want me to perform about. Right. And then either I would include the element you want me to include, or I would just perform it that way, the ones I already have, because it still relates to your theme, right? So that way, I'm not caught off guard, because most of the time they get to you a week to the performance or something. And I mean, as a student, you have school to think about and stuff, and you might not really have the time to prepare, because you have to prepare, you have to write, you have to memorize, you have to practice, rehearse, and then go and deliver. You understand? And when you are reading to, when you're performing and reading, it doesn't give them that feel, right? So you have to memorize it. You understand? So that's some of the strategies I use to be able to, to be on top of my performances each time I have the opportunity to do so. And if I feel that I don't have that time to write and to memorize for your event, I'll just tell you that I will not be able to do it, right? Because at the end of the day, I have to protect my integrity and my brand. Because if I come and perform at your program and then I forget my lines, I mean, it's a disgrace. So I make sure that I'm very tactical, about, my performances and stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I do it. I anticipate, I prepare ahead of time. When the program comes, I tailor it to the event and I go and perform. That's what I do.
So which one is I saw one of your poems, which is Letter to Nkrumah. We have History, Light to Africa. So which one do you like best?
Which one do I like? I mean, I like all my poems.
Right.
I like all of them. Right? Because all of them are a documentation of my emotions, my feeling, my perception, and then what I believe in. Whatever I write, whatever I bring out there, it is something I think about, it is something I believe in, and it's something I've been reflecting on. I don't just write vague things. I write based on how I feel and what I feel. I can watch a movie. While I'm watching a movie, before the movie ends, I write more than 5 poems by watching the movie. Yeah, because I mean, we get inspiration in different ways and stuff, So, I mean, I really like every poem I write. Right. I write every poem. Yeah, that's it.
Great. So, So just which one is on top of your mind now? Like you just know. Is it I'm just trying to push you to I'll bring up some poems, and I just want us to watch one of them. So if we are to see one of them now, watch one of them. Which one do you think we should watch?
Which one?
Yes.
Well, History Light to Africa.
History Light to Africa. So
yeah, History Light to Africa.
That's a good poem. And
yeah, History Light to Africa.
Great, great, great. So in some minutes, we're just going to take a look at that poem titled History Light to Africa. It has like 30,000 views. That's quite a milestone. And so we are speaking to Poet Gombilla. What's that slogan again? Just do it, let me.
Gombilla.
That's right. Then
it was Posidio suggested that to me.
Right. And that's quite a killer. So we just want to watch one of his poems, and we'll get back. So if you are also watching yourself, we just want to take a breather and watch one of so that you get some views. That's right. Ghana. Right. Great, great, great,
Yeah.
great, great, great. Wow, congrats.
Thank you very
Congrats,
much.
boss. Congrats, congrats. This like uh I've been listening to this and I can follow it like it is, and it's a masterpiece. So we took it to
Yeah.
a next level, and I think this is what we need our African brothers to do. And so, what is the focus now? Now you are in school.
Yeah.
What is the focus for your poetry, and what's the new way?
Well, so right now, because I'm in school,
Right.
and I mean, I'm yet to discover the element here that I can use to make top-notch videos like I was doing in Ghana. And
Mm.
so what I'm doing right now is just to record with my phone as much as possible and then put it out there,
Right.
so that I get people to to still follow my works before I
Yes.
discover ways of navigating and making very you know uh, great videos like they know me to
Right.
to be doing. And apart from that too, like I discussed with you last time, just trying to to create an anthology for my poems and then publish them digitally.
Right.
And I'll do it, I'll be doing much of that in the coming days and future,
Right.
because I feel like um I write every time, and it's not every time I would also have the opportunity to be making videos. And there are people who would want to to read my poems, not just to watch my videos. And so it makes sense for me to compile the poems and then publish them and make it available for people to be able to access my works.
Right, right. So that's quite huge, and I believe that with consistency, you can always like do what you want and get the results in terms of money, in terms of all what you want to do, and all those things. Because I just believe that with the path you've chosen, it's possible. But since it's possible, I do still believe that from where I'm coming from, or from like our community or society, we still don't embrace some of those things. So,
Mm.
like, how was it like when you started family reactions when you wanted to go full scale? I already saw your daddy in the limelight when you wanted to publish the book, like the support he gave out and all those things. Apart from that, how is it like when they realize that this is what you want to do, and
Well, so the full skill started at the University of Ghana.
yes,
You know, it started at University of Ghana. I started moving from room to room,
great.
from lecture halls to lecture halls to perform poetry. And I
Yes,
made sure that every program on campus I attended.
yes,
And my family, I started to get opportunity to perform on TV
right,
and programs and stuff like that.
right,
And whenever there was there was a national event, I had a poem, to represent that event. And so I usually get my poems played on radio and TV and
right,
other forms of of media, right? And so my family were seeing that and they were impressed. They loved that. I mean, I've been able to represent the name of the family in a very positive light.
right,
And the fact that I'm still, holding on to my education and then exploring and expanding my territories in ways that, reflect for my talent, then, they were 100% in support of it. And my father is always, supporting me financially and
yes,
everything that I need to get my poems out there. Because I've organized my book, for instance. It was my dad who sponsored my launch. I
right,
launched it in Kumasi and I launched it in Tamale. And apart from that too, my Sobole and Chicken event. My
Yeah.
dad sponsored. I mean, he's been very supportive. Though some sponsorship elsewhere came together to help me, but I mean, much of the support came from him, right? It came from him, and one thing I like about him is that, I mean, after my event, he doesn't ask me how much I make from the event. Nothing. He doesn't ask me anything. He just, I mean, he behaves as if he doesn't know if I've made money or not. You understand? He is to just support me.
Sure,
That's
sure.
all.
That's just
And
it.
then he just advised me to, whatever money I've made, I should use it, to do, to invest it into, better things and stuff like that. That's all, and all of that. So the support has been overwhelming, and it's encouraging, right? And I mean, Subule and Chicken, as we speak, it's the biggest poetry show in Ghana. The biggest poetry show in Ghana. Looking at the numbers, I mean, the conventional wisdom that poetry is difficult, people don't love poetry, has been broken, because you realize that, I mean, when I organize poetry events, people come in their numbers and they come to support. It's because of, I mean, of my, anytime I'm writing poems, I make sure that the people are able to relate to the poems, and I make sure that I break that conventional wisdom that poetry is difficult to understand, right? So anytime I'm writing, I make sure that I write my poems in plain language, in simple language, and so that people, whoever listens, whoever reads, I mean, would be able to understand what I'm talking about. And that's the aim. It's not to hide the meaning of anything to
Right.
somebody, right? Yeah. So, I mean, the support has been overwhelming, and I'm really grateful to God for that.
Right. So I think we will have to just thank those who might be listening and
Yeah.
watching this. I know that it's going to go places. I know all the young poets, Fatima and Co, whoever it is that wants to, that's into poetry, will be eager to watch and listen to this. What do you have to tell them in terms of like times that you feel like, because I feel like doing what I do, which is speaking and also going to places to do, there are times I feel like just stopping, like it's enough, like it's okay. So have you ever gotten to that point, and how did you overcome
Yeah, it's true. That one there, I mean, there's no two ways about it. Sometimes, I mean, you feel like, I mean, like, let me be honest. Sometimes you feel like, this thing I'm doing, people, I mean, I'm not the kind of expectations I put on what I do, and the kind of
that?
energy, the kind of investment I put into it, and the outcome doesn't really reach my expectation. It demoralizes me sometimes, and I feel like, I mean, sometimes when you put out a video, or maybe you put out a video, and it does not get the traction you need or you require, it demoralizes you, and it gives you the impression that, is it that people don't really appreciate what I do, or, I mean, they don't really like it, right? That thinking, whoever is a creative person, goes through this phase. It is normal, right? It helps you to improve and become better and find out the reason why you are not reaching the target that you have set for yourself, right? So, I mean, like when I was in University of Ghana, and then I had the opportunity to travel to the United States of America for a program. That was when, like, my desires for poetry, began to die. It began to die, not because I was not writing. My desire to express it out to people began to die, not because uh, I, I wasn't writing anymore, but because I felt that the support I needed was not being given to me. And so, why don't I shift my focus onto something different in life and then improve upon myself, right? So, I mean, I just slowed down, right? I slowed down, and I was not really doing anything. I was just focusing on my life, and that was when I started to think about going back to school again. And I feel like, I thank God that I paused and I took that decision to go back to school, right? Because then I just graduated from University of Ghana, and I was thinking about what next to do. Like, I mean, what next? So poetry in Ghana. I mean, because uh, I'm down, and my parents have paid, huge sums of money for me to go to school, and then I'll graduate from the University of Ghana, and I say I'm going to, be a poet, like just use poetry as a full-time job,
Right.
looking at, all the, limitations around, right? So I was like, because I was thinking twice. So I realized that, okay, let me go back to school. Let me stop seeing poetry as a profession. Let me see it as, as a part of me, as an expression of my emotions, as an expression of my, you know, as an expression of my, how do you call it? Uh, just, exhibiting my talent. That's how I saw it, right? Because when you continue to see it that way, you'll be comparing yourself to the likes of the Sarkodie's, you will compare yourself to the likes of Shatawali's, you will compare yourself to those, those categories. But you realize that in Ghana, poetry has not reached that level, right? That level to be able to gain that traction that these people get, right? It is a fact of life. And so I began to shift my focus on from that to, to just exhibiting my talent, to inspiring people, irrespective of the number of people who listen to me or not. I'm just doing what I do, right? So when I changed my focus from that, I began to get peace, right? And I started to, think, like I said, I started to think about going back to school. And then I started applying and stuff. And I came to school and I realized that, okay, now that I'm in school, poetry is part of me. Sometimes when I wake up and I feel like I'm not writing, I'm not putting something out, I mean, I'm so disturbed,
Right.
right? I'm disturbed, right? So those moments will come. You feel like, I mean, you should stop because you are not seeing what you want to see, the expectation you want. You are not, you are not getting to that level. So you feel like you should quit. But you should continue doing it. Do it not because of the number of people you want to see you or the money you are going to make from it, right? Do it because it is your passion. You are expressing yourself. And when you consistently do it, you realize that a lot of doors will open for you, right? It's a mode of expression. And apart from that, I want to encourage them that, listen, um, there is you poetry is in Ghana would help you, would give you money only when you are able to build yourself to a certain level, right? And before I stopped doing it, I was having some performances and stuff, and it was bringing some income. You understand? It was bringing income. It was bringing income, but I was not fulfilled, not because the income was not because of the income, but because I felt that the number of people I wanted to reach, I was not reaching them. Like I was not reaching, even though the money was coming, right? And so you can't really place your mind and your focus on one thing. It's different things. Like it's I mean it depends on you. It depends on what you want from what you are doing. You are doing poetry. What do you want, right? What do you want from it? Is it money you want from it? If it's money, I'm sorry. Uh, you 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 can't just start. You can't just start. Writing poetry and performing and start making money, right? What do you want? Is it that you want people to appreciate what you do? You have to be able to give them a reason for them to appreciate what you do,
Right.
right? And so it's all about taking your time, being patient, and being true to yourself. And you have to make sure that you have a side hustle. Apart from poetry, cannot pay the bills. It can take care of you alone. It can take care of you alone. But it cannot in Ghana. It can take care of you alone, but it cannot take care of it cannot help you take care of your family, right? It cannot help you take care of your family. And so you have to think about a side hustle, right? You have to think about ways of you know making money and stuff apart from just performing at events. Because if you don't reach a certain level, nobody will pay you money to do it, right? Nobody will pay you. Because the highest I've ever taken for performing was 3,005. Right? I mean, tell me how 3,005. How what what can 3,005 do for you and your family? You understand? When I started making, small, I was like, wow. When I was in University of Ghana, I was like, hey, this thing is something. But as I started to go, I realized that, Charlie, you have to find a side hustle, and stuff. You can just focus on this, yeah.
All right. So with all what you said, I think people who want to get into it will learn lessons from that. And I
Yeah.
also, you also have the belief that we still need to or poets in Ghana still need to look at the channels of making money instead of just like
Yeah.
the events like how Ghana artists, majority of Ghana artists do to get their money. They just look at events, so whatever they want, even if it is their naming ceremony of their child, they launch it just because they want
Exactly.
people to make to come in and they will make money. So I think if like look at all the channels, like monetizing YouTube,
Yeah.
doing more of the podcast sales, doing more
Yeah.
also the finding ways of selling the poems online through like
Yeah.
some of the musical channels like Spotify and stream up
Yeah.
all those things. I think we just need
Yeah.
to have a look at that. If not,
Yeah.
like what you are saying, it's going to be tough because companies will not are not willing, even though in other
Yeah.
places like I've seen, I've performed in like international events of poets, and the money they're making from one speaking event, you just know that wow. But I think the orientation still has to go on to let companies or corporate organizations know that poetry is part of like if you are having an event and you invite a poet, it's not a favor the poet you are doing the poet to perform on your stage. Most people think like even TV stations, once they
Yeah.
invite you, they feel like they are doing an honor to come and perform there. But what they don't know is that if you go there, you will fail, right? You're going to like embarrass your career, like you're
Yeah.
going to let you down. So if you are listening, you're a corporate person, especially our friends who have events. If you invite these poets, please, that's what they also depend on. They need to do videos, they need to feed their families, and they need to even like feed themselves to practice well so that they can give you
Yeah.
quality performance. So I think one of these days we'll look at that alone so that
Yeah.
other people will
But
see.
let me emphasize.
Right.
It is these corporate events that you are able to make it, because a month, if you get, because there was a time 1 month.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get 3 corporate events, sometimes 4, right? So if each corporate event you are able to make, maybe the first corporate event you make 2,000 cedis,
Yeah.
the second one you make 1,005,
Sounds fine.
the third one you make 2,000. When you add it, it's huge.
It's
So at the
huge.
end of the month, you make money, right?
Yeah.
You make money at the end of the month. But how long will corporate events continue to come?
Right.
You understand? Like you said, the online platforms and stuff. There are things that we have to consider,
Yeah.
right? And YouTube. As for YouTube, I've made some revenue from YouTube. You
Yeah.
understand, right? I've made revenue from YouTube and stuff, and it is left with the Amazons and stuff that we need to learn to publish our works there, because that's how we'll be able to break the barriers,
That's
right, and
right.
get features internationally. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah.
Right. So if you are listening and also like take steps to go online, research, do more, but it's not going to be easy though. But
Mm.
you just need to do it. Just need to do it. So do you have some poem for us in your mind? Because if not, that I didn't tell you long. prepare a poem to practice or to recite it, but if you have one in your mind that you can just easily bring out.
I think I do. So
let's go.
Gombilla. It takes time to be appreciated by the world outside you. That appreciation is usually short-lived, but it takes no time to appreciate yourself. And this appreciation is usually long-lived, propelling, and powerful. The greatest motivator lives in you. Yet there you go about searching for validation. And when you find none, you fall sick and tired. You sit beneath a tree to vent your frustration at why no one sees your effort and strides. You feel you are not being treated fairly. And because no one is clapping, you don't feel good about yourself. Dr. Society saw you last night and felt your pain and prescribed 6 tablets of validations. You felt good for a while, you slept and woke up and felt left out again, and yet still you repeat on repeat and find no joy. You keep it going while feeling in you a disconnect. You busy yourself trying to conform to prescriptions you're addicted to, trying so hard at the expense of your joy to please a society that can move on without your existence. You keep it going while feeling in you a disconnect. You busy yourself trying to conform to prescriptions you're addicted to, trying so hard at the expense of your joy to please a society that can move on without your existence.
Right.
Peace.
Great. That's the man.
Yeah.
Gombilla, the man himself. So that's great, and I think you can't do without poetry, because poetry is you and you are poetry. Right.
Yeah.
So that's good. Kid. So what is do you have some message for young people growing up who wants to not only go into poetry, but looking at where you started from the failures, from the challenging times, from the times that you feel like, let me stop. Even you stopped at a point and you had to come back because it's part of you. So do you have something to tell young people out there who are also doubting? Because I have some mentees who also like daily, day in and day out, they feel like, well, this didn't work, well, that didn't work, well, like, so what is your message to them?
You keep it going while feeling you a disconnect. I mean, sometimes when you are when you are doing it, you focus on the applause that the outside world is going to give you, you would be discouraged, right? You would be discouraged. And so what you should do is focus on how best poetry makes you fulfilled. When you write, how does it make you feel? How does your mind clear up, right? And all of that. You should be willing to make yourself happy. You should be willing to encourage yourself, and you should be willing to to push yourself to the limit and forget about the applause. Just do it, right? Just do it. Do it because it is part of you. I mean, do it because that is your message to the world. One day, you don't know who's going to see your works and then help you, get it to where you want it to be. And I mean, let me say one thing that people don't know. You see, how to call it? All the travels that I have traveled, they are because of poetry. Because when you go for interviews, visa interviews, right? And then you talk about the fact that you are a poet, and they most of the times are able to recognize you, right? Through the social media, through the YouTube and stuff. They're able to recognize, and then they know that you are a very reputable person in your country, in your community, in your society. And so even if you go, you are going to come back, right? And so it is because of poetry. And if you look at poetry and then just look at it's not just about the monetary value it will bring to you. It is also the social capital, the relationships it will help you build, the international opportunities you get, the fact that you are training your own mind to become a better version of yourself, the fact that you are contributing to society in ways that that would help it develop and become and accelerate it to where it has to be as a society. You see yourself as a contributor, so you should always see yourself as a contributor, and you should also see the benefits of it in diverse ways, right? In diverse ways. So I mean, if you continually to see it that way, you would have the currency to continually do what you do best, to write, to perform and stuff. And you should also read more. You should read a lot of poems. You should read a lot of novels. You should write more. Whatever comes into your mind, just put it down, right? Don't doubt yourself. Sometimes you doubt yourself. That one is normal. But, I mean, you should try as much as possible to give yourself, some space, some credit, and then some kudos. Because if you don't do that for yourself, no one else is going to do it for you.
Right. So if you don't do it for you, no one will do it for you. So I think we appreciate your time. We appreciate all that you've said. And I just believe that it's going to inspire somebody to let you know that if you are doing something, you are not alone. At any point in time, all what you feel, once you want to give up, never give up. Just keep doing what you do and amass the social capital. Once you amass the social capital, the financial capital will come out of it. So keep doing what you do, keep believing, and we just believe that no matter what, no matter how, these are the frontliners, and they are going to keep moving, and the rest will follow. So the name is bigger. Is talking to Poet Gombilla, the one and only Poet. He has done great things. He's traveled, he's created opportunities, he's organized events and all those things. So this is the Change Makers Hangout. So what we just need to let you know is that you're doing great. And once you're doing great, you may not know, people may not applaud you, like say thank you or congratulate you for what you do. You may get 1 or 2 awards there, but largely, we will not get a chance to tell you that you are doing great. But this hangout is just to let you know that you are a change maker, and we just want to appreciate what you do. So if people don't even appreciate it, please just keep going, because there are people who are coming, growing up, and they are looking up to you. And your name will always be in the books of Ghana, the archives of Ghana, as one of the greatest poets. And so we believe in you, and we believe that, yes, never give up, never back down, and just keep moving. So your final words, and whatever you have, whatever, if it's a poem, if it's whatever, just let us hear it, and we'll move on. But before that, as you're speaking, once you finish, I'll drop another poem for us to enjoy. And I will encourage people to also go on YouTube. Just type the name Poet Gombilla. Just watch. The time we used to watch things that don't matter, we watch funny things on YouTube. But we can equally watch important things like this, poems and all those things, to add to our knowledge and to keep the rhythm. Sometimes if you are challenged by, like what I do, if I'm challenged, trouble, working, I just go on YouTube and watch poems like Gombilla's poems and other poems to just keep me back on track. Right, so go on YouTube and watch some of his poems and inspire yourself. So your final words, then I'll pull some poem, and we'll close with it.
Okay. Day is here again with abundant struggles, so let the night descend quickly to hold our struggles briefly so we can put our heads to rest. If light flames at the end of the tunnel, why does darkness want to drench our light to quench our desires with some carbonated inflammation? If the fairness of life is dominant than unfairness, society will be meaningless like the absence of ethical principles of good and bad. If people still believe in Bishop Obinim after his snake and dog tails, why wouldn't people still believe in your capabilities? I hate to have visited my dream, so no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper. Our smile thank the Lord for strength abounding us. We feel great that our heart desires are covered from the eyes of society. Success will come, yes, soon after hard work. Though life is hard just like bones, our teeth must grind to pull out calcium so we will become stronger and better. Our fisted hands must fight life punches as heavy as Mayweather's and skillfully dribble life's unpredictabilities like Ronaldo while biting life beyond recovery like Suarez will do for Samoa Jan to baby jet us around the globe like Abraham Atta while singing Shatawali's Kakai into the souls of our enemies to scare them away. Where were they when Osibisa said, we will get there soon? Yes, indeed, our passion is as hot as volcanic eruption. Our will is as powerful as the flood that drank the ear of Noah. That thing standing on your neck is your head, the engine of your life. Your breath is controlled there, desires are managed there, your life is held there. So hold that head there. Once it gets intoxicated by the world, your life becomes intoxicated too. Once you get it wrong there, your life becomes wrong too. They never made you yet want you destroyed. They never asked, they judged you wrongly. They never saw you climbing but want you down. They never saw your sleepless night yet found out your greatness. They think they are God. Let them try and the sun would blind their effortless effort. Once they never saw your start, they can't see your end. Hold your peace, let me be. Strive for excellence for the world to love you too. Make me your measure, not your pressure. Your hate for passionate people won't stop them from being passionate, for you don't control their passion. They do. Stupidity will become of them should they inhale actions from your hate. If downrating can stop you from creating, then your self-belief is shaky and in no time, your passion will quench. And so hold your destiny in your hands, strive for excellence, and be a great change maker in this world of ours. Peace.
Great, great. That is the man, the Poet Gombilla, the Poet Gombilla, the man of the moment. Thank you for this. Go on YouTube and just want to pull one of his poems and creativity at his best, and he's not stopping. Came from the future. Hmm. That's great. So this is Gombilla, and thank you for doing this. Thank you for accepting to be part of this Changemakers Hangout and share your story to inspire someone. And if it is only one person who inspire you, inspire the person to do more. And I believe that it's going to be possible. That started playing, and I believe that we can all support. So whatever you do, wherever you are, whether you're in Tamale, whether you're in Accra, whether you are in Europe, whether in China, whatever, just support projects like this. Whatever you see, do share, encourage them, inspire, get the inspiration from them and help them to do more. Just help them. And sometimes we don't say like, it's not monetary help that they need, but if you are even sharing their posts on social media, you are supporting them, and you are giving them opportunity to not to like, sometimes we share rumors, we insult people, we don't even understand them, but because they are on top, we try to bring them down. So I think this is talent, and we need to support this. In Africa, we need to, because poetry, when you look at the origin of poetry, it's just like it originates from Africa, because the words we say like has some powerful meaning. So we need to support people like this and to let them know that yes, they can do it and it's possible. They can represent and become one of the best poets in the world and make all the $10 million deals and all those stuff. So it's possible. So I believe that you are doing great, and just keep doing it. So you can watch this on YouTube, you can watch this on Facebook, different. So thank you, and just get your inspiration, start doing something. So thank you, Gombilla. I believe in you, and I believe that one day we'll get to do this again. So mention your social media, where we can find you. I know it's just Gombilla. So like you can just mention them and let's move on.
Yeah, so on Instagram is at Gombilla Tofik. Right. And then on Facebook, my Facebook page is Gombilla the Poet. You can just like my Facebook page. And then YouTube, if you just search Gombilla, you'd see my videos. And while you are watching them, you should subscribe to my YouTube channel and stuff. And expect my book very soon, my book of poems. Right. I'm working hard on it, and inshallah, the book will be out very soon.
Great. Thank you, and we appreciate. See you, and
thank you
we'll
very
do
much
this again.
Sure.
Right.